During chemistry class, a boy secretly mixed two chemical elements together and then heated it on an alcohol lamp. The fire suddenly flared up. At this time the teacher came over. They put the fuel in the water tank. They were panicked but not in danger. But this also meant that their rocket fuel has been successfully built. They went to the experimental mine to launch a rocket. Unexpectedly, the rocket in the air changed its trajectory. And it almost attacked people. This man did not blame them, he also pointed out the problem of it. This ordinary steel cannot withstand high temperatures, so heat-resistant cast iron must be used. However, it is extremely rare and expensive to be difficult to buy. They only have to find the 12 nautical miles abandoned railway, and begin to dismantle it, being happy because they were about to earn money, when there was a train horn. They tried to tell them to stop because it was broken. They earned money from the rails to buy some heat-resistant cast iron. With the help of the boss, they completed the machining process, and then continued to experiment, but the results failed. If it doesn't explode, it won't be able to fly. After unloading 30 rails, he thought the purity of the material is not enough. Then launch. The rocket inside will cause the rocket to expand, and then explode, so they use pure alcohol to upgrade with new boost fuel. They went to the mine to launch rockets, and there were a lot of people. Indeed, those people were all called by him to see his colleagues' jokes. But he didn't get angry, he used force to stick the detonator into the rocket, and it immediately flew straight into the space. All of them cheered under their success. Even the teacher praised them. After that they participated in the science and technology competition. Based on the end time, David's rocket successfully launched. Everyone looked at him admiringly. Their story was published by an author. But when they held a congratulatory party, FBL took them to the police station. Because that day there was a fire forest at the exact point where David's rocket was dropped. Fortunately, they are old enough to be answerable by journalists. David's father reprimanded him for not being careful. Then, the four of them planned to create a one-shot missile squad. They were just afraid of another forest fire. That's an unexpected throwdown. Unexpectedly, he burned down the lab. That night, his father was seriously injured because of rescuing the factory. As a result, there is a possibility of going blind, but his father's job requires a replacement. In order for his brother to enter the university, David decided to sacrifice himself to work in the factory. A month later, the friends met David again. He became a full-fledged miner. Without saying a word, David rushed to work as if his rocket dream had been extinguished. But fortunately, his father's health has made a good change, and successfully returned to his job. When he came back and knew his teacher had lymphoma, he rushed to the front of her house. He wanted to comfort his teacher, but she was so optimistic. She encouraged him to persevere in fulfilling his dream. If his research won an award at a science exhibition, he can take the prize. Her encouragement gave David tremendous motivation. He took the rocket training material book, and researched all night. Even during lunchtime, he devoted himself to his studies. A few weeks later, he found a teacher who opened up the formula for this time. Based on the formula, they were able to calculate the missile's landing position. If he found the rocket that landed in the area that day, he could prove his innocence. The next day, they went to the rocket mines. Through the rocket launch angle of that day, they used a measuring stick to record the data, and finally found the rocket in the stream. They happily brought the rocket back to the school, but the dean's face was filled with suspicion. Based on the knowledge, David uses science to prove the principle of rocket operation. It wasn't until the FBL found the bright bullet that caused the fire that they succeeded in washing off the wrongdoing. They are eligible to participate in the CONT. Then they received the Small Town Rocket Development Award. The organizers attached great importance to their work, and decided to let them represent the university to participate in the National Science and Technology Exhibition. But the cost is limited, so let David do alone. When their work is taken out, it becomes the focus of everyone. All of them think it will be this year's champion. As he returned, and released the test samples and documents were all stolen, David called home to seek help. With Dad's help, the miner had to build rocket prototypes all night. Mom told him to already send it and he can get it in tomorrow morning. Moreover, this time still with Dad's help. Neighbors also wanted to cheer for him. He was very happy to leave the telephone station. Next, he calmly explained the rocket model in detail to reporters. His efforts did not disappoint everyone's hopes. He received first prizes in the competition. Then he was surrounded by reporters and media. When returning home, the neighbors all clapped. To thank David decided to launch a rocket in town. He wanted his dad to watch it, but because of work, he had to refuse. He just hopes to be as brilliant as his dad. After hearing this, he was very proud. When the rocket was completed, his dad also came to the scene to see it. I wanted to invite a person who have never seen the rocket category. Please press the button. He was surprised, his eyes full of pride in his son,